The security alarm was a terrifying, high-pitched scream cutting through the opulence of the young mansion. Jing and Sia broke apart, the air thick with the remnants of their hostile kiss, and the raw terror of the unburied secret now standing at their gates. Jing's fury instantly morphed into cold, focused defense, the CEO mode that was more lethal than his husband persona. Yoon, he breathed. The name a curse and a lament. He moved fast, grabbing his suit jacket and pulling out a small, encrypted device. Min, secure the internal network. Block all external broadcasts. No. Wait. If Lav is there, he's already broadcasting. Min, open the gates only to the private security perimeter. Do not let them cross the lawn. Sia watched him, her mind racing. This was her chance. If the G group was truly threatened, Jing needed her voting power. Jing, stop, Sia commanded, her voice calm but sharp. You cannot fight a public attack with corporate firewalls. You need a wife, a legitimate presence, to turn this into a family matter, not a corporate scandal. I'm coming with you. Jing paused, meeting her eyes. He saw not compliance, but calculation. He needed her. He nodded curtly, grabbing her arm. You will follow my instructions exactly. This woman is more dangerous than any rival CEO. They moved quickly to the armored gatehouse overlooking the main entrance. The surveillance monitors showed two figures illuminated by the harsh security lights. Lav holding a professional-grade camera, his face a mask of triumphant vengeance. And beside him, Yoon was not shouting. She stood unnervingly still, dressed in simple, elegant black, her face framed by dark hair. Her composure was absolute. She held a sealed, legal document. Jing opened the comms link, his voice devoid of emotion. Lav, you will regret this. Lav's voice crackled, full of venom. Regret, Jing. I regret, only that I didn't find Yoon sooner. She has Era's final will, the one you suppressed. The world is watching, CEO Jung. We demand justice for Era and for Yoon. Get out here and face the music. Sia stepped forward, taking the comms mic from Jing, assuming the posture of the protected, devoted wife. Mr. Lav, Sia's voice was clear, calm, and broadcast with authority. This is Mrs. Sia Jung. My husband is not going to conduct a sensitive family negotiation on a public sidewalk, nor will he engage with threats from a disgraced journalist. If you and Miss Yoon genuinely seek resolution and transparency regarding the Era Trust, which I am now a legal partner in, you will submit to our security protocols and enter the corporate negotiation suite. Otherwise, you will be arrested for trespassing. Lav hesitated, clearly thrown by the intervention of the new Mrs. Young. Yoon, however, took the opportunity. She spoke for the first time, her voice carrying an unexpected, haunting clarity. Mrs. Jung, you are the only one with clean hands in this house. Lav is loud, but he is right. I only demand one thing, a face-to-face meeting with you inside. If you agree, we will turn off the cameras and enter peacefully. Sia looked at Jing. This was the trap. Yoon wanted her, not him. Jing leaned in, his voice a low growl of warning. Sia, do not. This is a trap. It's my only move, Jing. Sia whispered back, her eyes meeting his. I can turn this into a legal battle. You can only turn it into a bloodbath. Open the secondary gate, Min Lav. The camera goes off immediately. Jing watched, horrified, as Sia's decisive move forced the crisis inside. She had just used his enemy's demand to solidify her role as the crisis manager. The negotiation suite was a pristine, soundproof room in the mansion's corporate annex, usually reserved for hostile mergers. It felt like a surgical theater for the dismantling of a family. Jing and Sia sat on one side of the massive, polished black table, flanked by Min, who looked ready to faint. Lav and Yoon sat opposite them. Lav was still simmering, but Yoon was unnervingly composed. Sia took the lead, her posture radiating controlled authority. Miss Yoon, Mr. Lav, You are here under the condition of discretion. Now, present your case. What exactly is the final will of Era, and how does it concern the G group and myself? Lav slammed a thick folder onto the table. Era's true will overrides the trust entirely. She named Yoon as the sole inheritor of all her liquid assets and demanded the immediate restructuring of the G group to sever all ties to the Young family's criminal past. She wanted to destroy everything Jing built because she knew how he truly acquired his power. Sia focused on Yoon, ignoring Lav. Miss Yoon, you demand the dissolution of the J group based on a will that Mr. Young claims to have sealed for your protection. Is that correct? Yoon finally spoke, her voice measured and deeply sad. It is correct. Era did not want protection. She wanted justice. And she wanted Jing to face the truth he has hidden for 20 years. Sia turned to Jing, her eyes demanding an answer, acknowledging the presence of his enemy, and treating him as her subordinate in this crisis. The silence stretched, thick and suffocating. Jing looked at the silent Yoon, then at Sia's cold, demanding face. He was trapped. He finally ran a hand over his hair, a rare, raw gesture of defeat. Min, leave us, Jing ordered, his voice hollow. Min hesitated, then fled the room. Jing turned to Sia, ignoring Lav and Yoon, addressing only his wife. He needed her to understand the depth of the legacy she was trying to destroy. Yoon's father was not a business rival. 20 years ago, when the G group was transitioning, my father made a devastating error during a hostile takeover. He pushed a smaller competitor into bankruptcy. Yoon's father was that competitor. He was a good man, an innovator. He lost everything. He took his own life on the steps of the G group headquarters. Sia gasped, her eyes widening in horror. Jing's hands clenched into fists. My father covered it up, calling it an accidental death. But Era was a child, but she saw the aftermath. She saw Yoon, who was a little girl, suddenly orphaned. Era was consumed by the guilt of the family name. She tried to give Yoon a secret monthly stipend, but my father blocked it. When Era grew up, she used the Era Trust, her inheritance, to secretly provide for Yoon. Jing's voice was raw with pain and self-loathing. Era's fiancé discovered the secret connection to Yoon and intended to use it to blackmail me and seize the company. When Era tried to run, I panicked. I knew if the press found out about Yoon, the orphaned daughter of a corporate suicide tied directly to the Yoon family, it would destroy the G group and potentially put Yoon in danger from the very people my father dealt with. So, I sealed the codicil. I used the trust money to hide Yoon entirely, protecting her from the family name, and simultaneously protecting the family name from her. He turned to Yoon, his confession finally complete. Yoon, I lied to you. I lied to everyone. I hid you for 20 years because I believed I was the only one capable of handling the fallout. I thought my control was protection. Yoon's composure broke for the first time. Tears streamed down her face, but her expression was one of quiet, justified rage. Sia looked at Jing. His control was not merely obsession. It was the mechanism of a broken, guilt-ridden heart. He was trying to protect the victim of his family's original sin, but in doing so, he became the victimizer. If you are reeling from the truth of Jing's past and Sia's new moral burden, pause the audio now, subscribe, and leave a comment, and tell us, will Sia choose to protect Jing and the G group, or seek justice for Yoon? Yoon slammed her hand on the table, silencing her own tears. I don't want your guilt, Jing. I don't want your protection. I want the G group's assets liquidated and distributed to every family your father crushed. I demand the dissolution of the G group now, and Era's will gives me the authority to start the process. Lav stood up, triumphant. The will is legally sound. You have no recourse, Jung. The company falls today. Jing looked at Sia, his eyes desperate, pleading. This was the moment of his complete surrender to his wife. Sia, Jing whispered, his voice cracking slightly. Use your power. You have the voting rights in the trust. Block the motion for dissolution. I know you hate the company, but don't let it fall into chaos. We can stabilize it. We can compensate Yoon fairly. We can fix this together. Sia absorbed his desperation. He wasn't pleading for his power. He was pleading for the stability of the foundation he had killed himself to build. Sia pushed her chair back, rising slowly. She did not look at Jing or Love. She looked only at Yoon, woman to woman, captive to victim. Miss Yoon, you are correct. Justice must be served. But dissolution serves no one but the enemies of the G group. Like the competitors Jing crushed to get here, dissolution creates chaos, not compensation. I will block the motion for dissolution, but only under 2 conditions. Jing, not for the G group, but for the future of Yoon's inheritance. She turned to Jing, her eyes cold steel. Her counter demand was ruthless and absolute. First, you will immediately remove all restrictions on my access to the G group servers. Full transparency. I need to audit the extent of the damage your father caused. I will be your co-CEO in every operational sense, effective immediately to ensure the company is clean. And second, Sia continued, her voice hardening, you will legally grant me total, irreversible authority to manage and liquidate the assets pertaining to Yoon's inheritance and the Era Trust. I will use the assets to compensate victims of corporate injustice, fulfilling Era's spirit of justice without destroying the group. I will not trust you to handle Yoon's money, Jing. Not anymore. I will control every dime of this legacy. Jing was stunned. She was not asking for a portion of the company. She was asking for absolute moral and operational control over the past, present, and future direction of the G group. She was asking him to hand over the very reason for his existence. You are asking me to give you everything, Jing breathed out, the words laced with defeat. I am asking you to prove that your control was about protection, not just possession, Sia retorted. Sign this, Jing. Sign it, and I save your company. Refuse, and the dissolution proceeds. Sia took a pre-drafted legal rider from her briefcase, prepared by Miss Choi for this very scenario, and slid it across the table, along with her personal pen. Jing stared at the document. Love and Yoon watched, silent and tense. After a moment that stretched into an eternity, Jing picked up the pen. His hand shook slightly, but his gaze remained locked on Sia's. He signed the document, a large, decisive signature that stripped him of his final layer of operational security. Done, Jing said. The word a final surrender. The table was silent. Sia signed the document, legalizing the new power dynamic. She was now the absolute authority on the Era Trust assets and the co-CEO of the G Group in all but name. Sia turned to Yoon, her voice firm. The dissolution is blocked. I will manage the Era Trust assets to compensate the victims of corporate injustice as Era intended. I will provide full transparency to your legal team. You will have justice, Miss Yoon, but you will not have chaos. Yoon studied Sia, recognizing a deeper, more formidable opponent than Jing had ever been. She nodded slowly. I accept your terms, Mrs. Jung, but my fight is not over. Yoon rose, giving Sia a final, chilling look. Be careful, Mrs. Jung. You saved the company, but you just stepped into Jing's cage, and now, you know his biggest weakness. He will never let you leave. Love, defeated but recognizing a new headline, followed Yoon out of the room. Sia and Jing were left alone in the cold negotiation suite. Sia looked at the signed document, the key to her absolute freedom, lying between them. Jing rose and walked to her, stopping close enough for the emotional charge to feel lethal. You saved my empire, Sia. You demanded a high price, and I paid it. You are magnificent, he reached out, his hand tracing the line of her jaw. But you are wrong. You think you gained control. You only deepened the bonds. Now that you hold the secret of Yoon, you are permanently tied to me. We are morally entangled. Our lives are indistinguishable. Sia met his gaze, refusing to flinch. I have full server access, Jing. I have the power to destroy you and rebuild the G group in my image. And you gave it to me because you were afraid of the alternative. Fear is a powerful bond, Mrs. Jung. But I want to show you something else. Jing stepped back and pulled up the security feed. Min had been monitoring. The screen showed Lav and Yoon leaving the property. But just as they reached the main road, Yoon turned and handed Lav a small, sealed envelope. Yoon then got into a separate car, driving away alone. Lav was just the megaphone, Sia, Jing explained, his voice dropping to a menacing whisper. Yoon's arrival was precisely timed to make you panic and sign those papers. She wanted you to gain power. She wanted you to become my co-CEO. Sia stared at the screen, a cold dread washing over her. Why? Why would she want to empower me? Jing took the document Lav had given Yoon, which his security team had intercepted before they drove off, and placed it in front of Sia. It was a single laminated photograph. The photograph showed a small, unassuming warehouse on the edge of the city. Yoon's demand was the dissolution of the company, but this, Jing pointed to the photograph. This is her real weapon. This is the Yoon Trust's only asset that Era did not name in her will. It's an old, empty building, completely worthless. We checked it for years. Jing then pulled up a separate file on the screen, his face grim. But 2 days ago, a shell company, linked directly to the Fianfei who betrayed Era, acquired the adjoining property. If the Fianfei gains control of the warehouse, he gains full operational control of the entire downtown financial district's power grid, which runs directly beneath it. Sia realized the terrible truth. Yoon wasn't trying to dissolve the G group. She was setting up a hostile infrastructure takeover using the shell company, handing Jing's greatest enemy the leverage to destroy the city's economy. And now, Sia had control of the warehouse's legal deed. Yoon gave you the weapon to fight the true enemy, Jing said, his voice quiet. She made you the defender of the G group. You think you took control, Sia? You are now the general in my war. Sia stared at the photograph, then back at Jing. She had traded her freedom for the fate of an entire city, and the knowledge that her new co-CEO, Yoon, had played them both masterfully. This was the shocking The Secret of Room 302, Episode 8. Sia has saved the G group and gained absolute authority, but she has been maneuvered into becoming Jing's primary general against a massive coordinated external threat linked to Era's Fianfei. She is no longer just Jing's captive. She is his co-conspirator, with the fate of the city hanging in the balance. What is hidden inside that warehouse? And how will Sia use her new power to fight the Fianfei and Yoon's subtle, terrifying revenge? Find out when the war leaves the mansion and hits the streets. In Episode 9, The Warehouse Gambit.